The bowing is crazy, Brian.
Is it?
Why?
Tell me why.
Why do you want somebody to bow so badly?
What do you mean?
Because I know it's going to come back to the topic of submission.
Wait, speak straight into the mic, but go ahead.
I know it's going to come back to the topic of submission.
Sure.
And that is, submission comes straight from the Bible. Bible...
I wouldn't look at this from a religious perspective. I would look at this from a secular perspective.
But then
That's
where do
the
you
problem.
get submission from? Yeah, that's...
It's in nature.
You can,
submission is in nature.
Where? Where in
in
nature?
in mammalian species.
You don't think that there's submissive atheist women?
I'm sure there is, but I think it is in more times than not very harmful because it's coming from a very, very selfish, prideful, and just like across the board, harmful, like
On the woman's part or the man's part?
on the man's part.
To desire a submissive woman?
To a woman bowing for you is harmful submission. Submission should
articulate how it's harmful.
It's prideful on the man's part.
How is it prideful?
It's selfish.
How is it selfish?
Why do you want her to bow for you?
First explain to me, answer my question first. How is it harmful, or what was the other word you used? Harmful, or did you, what, not
Selfish. Prideful.
Selfish. How is it
Yeah.
selfish on the man's part? How is it harmful to the woman?
Because are you thinking about her experience or are you thinking about your experience?
I don't really understand your argument, but how is it harmful?
Because that's not going to be, it's not loving.
How is it not loving?
Because you're considering only your experience. And it's feeding your ego. Having somebody
Doesn't feed
bow
my ego
for
at
you,
all.
Can I ask something?
it for
No,
sure
hold on.
would. It for sure would, Brian. Having somebody bow for you would not feed your ego and make you feel more powerful.
It wouldn't make me feel more powerful.
Just make you feel respected.
But how is it, okay,
Appreciate
so
it.
let's remove my side from this. How is it harmful to the woman? Articulate that.
Because it's this,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Make your argument, please.
let me think. It's like a weird power dynamic that is, I'm all for
Let me ask you a
power
question.
dynamic.
Do you want a guy to open the car door for you? On a date?
Yeah. 'Cause
Wow, that's really
loving.
harmful to the man. That's a weird power dynamic that you want, that you insist a man open a car door for you when you have agency and you have the strength to open a car door. Articulate to me why you want a man to open the car door for you.
Because it goes back further than just like,
Cars are a recent invention of modernity. They've been around for like 100 years. Goes back to when? The caveman days?
well, obviously not.
Okay, so
but
there's no evolutionary basis for a woman desiring a man to open a car door. So explain to me
I'm
why
pretty sure
women
it
want...
did originate for like safety reasons.
Safety
protecting
reasons.
protecting the woman. No, I actually do.
She's going to blow out her shoulder opening a car door? Don't think so. Don't think so.
Do you know the history of chivalry?
Some.
Some. To basically woo a woman that you couldn't get, that wasn't attracted to you, so you basically tried to make her attracted to you by being subservient.
I think that's
Being a
very
little
secular.
bitch.
Very secular.
No, that's
take.
the actual history.
I don't-
From France, the chivalrous knights.
Yeah, but like if we went back biblically, people would love on others to show other people that they can experience God's love.
Yeah, but biblically, that's not. We talking about where we actually know it originated historically, like where you can date it back to. It was the chivalrous knights of France, and
That's where being
that's where
the
the concept of chivalry, like wooing a woman, like trying to impress a woman, doing those kind of
Okay.
things. It dates back to, I believe, 15th century France. Might be a little earlier than that, somewhere in between the 12th and the 16th century France, chivalrous knights.
Okay, but I don't think women ever like demanded a man open a car door for them.
No, that's just a form of chivalry, and it all ties back into just trying to impress a woman. You're trying to be impressive to the woman.
Yeah.
You're trying to basically pedestalize her.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what opening a car door would be in a sense. It's like, Your Majesty, my queen.
Wait, so again though, how is it
Okay.
harmful to the woman for her to do a bow?
Because you're only thinking about yourself. That's
Well, what
not the
about-
ground.
what-
I'm not saying it's going to like cause physical harm to her, but in the
Mental harm?
relationship, that's not going to be
Straight
very
into
healthy.
the mic. Nick, I can't see her, so you have to be looking out for this. Go ahead.
Sorry, I keep looking at you. That's
fine.
why. But it's not going to cause a healthy relationship when you're only thinking about your experience and how you can be served instead of trying to consider her experience.
I have a couple questions
And
for
when
you.
both people do that, probably, do you know what? She might end up bowing for you. But when you're like, okay, I need to be bowed for, and like, I'm not going to think about how I can, bring love into this person's life. I'm just going to think about how she can make me feel better and better. That's not going to be grounds for a healthy relationship.
So you think that if a woman were to bow in a relationship, it would just be absolutely catastrophic, and it would just lead to the demise of the relationship just on virtue of her bowing and the man wanting her to bow?
I don't think it would be catastrophic, but I do think that having that is like an ideal for looking for relationships is like, honestly, it's not good.
I don't think it's healthy, like, honestly.
I think it's just very...
You don't think it's healthy?
No, I don't think it's very
Let me ask you-
healthy
okay,
in a
so I'll ask
relationship
both of you this
for a
question.
woman to bow to a guy that's doing too much.
It's unhealthy. Okay, so what labor, like, is it physically laborious? Is it grueling to do a
I
bow?
just feel like it's a slippery slope. Like,
How's
you
it a
might
slippery
you might
slope?
ask her to bow for you, but then, like, what's next? What else are you going to be asking her to do that kind of just like lowers her ranking in the relationship?
It doesn't lower
It
her
is
ranking.
degrading,
It-
though.
no,
It's
no,
a
no, no, no,
bit
no.
degrading.
No, it actually elevates her.
No.
What do you got, Amy?
If she's
No.
bowing to you, would you bow back to
Nope.
her?
That's what my original question was going to be. Like, is this actually a fetish kink, or is this about submissive nature?
It's funny how upset they get about the bow thing.
I-
So
well,
here's what's interesting.
I think you
well,
might-
first
I'm not
off,
upset about
really
it, it's
quick,
just unhealthy.
just really quick question for you. Do you object? Obviously, you recognize there are cultures where bowing is more typical. Do you object to the bow in those cultures?
What cultures?
Like Asian cultures, for example, like Japan.
I don't know if they bow
They
to
bow.
their husbands.
I don't know
It's-
the
it's
specifics
women
of it, but
bowing.
bowing is more common.
Well, no, because I think that's totally different context. They're not...
Okay, sure. So we'll remove that from the
Yeah.
equation if you don't object to it in that context. It's cultural appropriation, though.
Bow is
culturally.
a sign to respect our elders. We don't bow to our like spouses. Like, I don't get it. Like, my nephews and nieces bow to me.
You're Vietnamese, though, right?
I'm Chinese Vietnamese. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know the specifics of the various, the cultures, the cultural specifics of each individual country. I know there are vast differences between Vietnam, Korea, Japan, China, Thailand, Mongolia, Laos, Indonesia. I don't know. There's plenty of Asian countries. They all have different cultures. So, yeah.
If you take it
But I'm
from
not
that,
making an
like,
argument of like, I'm doing this because of Asian cultures. No, this is just like some white boy shit.
But you won't answer
Yeah,
why do you want her to bow?
Because I want it. Do I need any other
Why?
reasons?
Yes.
Well, one, because it's submissive. Because it's submissive. It's sort of a determination of her willingness to be submissive.
But what
And
is
be playful.
submission to
And be
you?
playful. It's not like some dark, twisted,
It
demented thing.
is.
For me, how is it dark?
Well,
Articulate how, like, you can't just throw it out and not have a reason for it. How is it dark?
Can I chime in?
Let me no.
I just
Actually,
don't, I
wait,
just
wait.
don't
Go
know
ahead.
how
Hold-
you
no,
could
no,
just
hold on,
stand
hold on.
there and watch somebody bow to you and not feel like, God, stop that. Just stand
That's
up.
because hold on.
Stop that.
But you're viewing it through the female lens. You desire
You want to
typically
know something funny?
What you have
After that night, the first night that I did the podcast and you showed the bowing video, I told my husband about it,
Yeah.
and then we were acting it out together, and I bowed to him, and he felt so weird, and he was like, "Don't ever do that again." And I was like,
cool.
I was like, "How does it make you feel when I bow to you?" He goes, he was like, I can't even describe it. It's like, I just don't want you to do it. I feel weird about myself if you bowed to me.
Before you did the bow, did you have a 5-minute conversation about how you feel? Like you told him that you think it's weird?
No.
And that, you just literally
No, I was
admitted
like, oh,
that
it was
you
like,
guys were
the
talking
host
about
wants-
it and you set up this totally inorganic bowing thing. One, he doesn't desire the bow. Two, you have opposition to the bow. So of course it was going to come off weird in that scenario. I've had women who've come on the show who said, hey, Brian, I just hit the bow to my man just because I've seen it. And the husband liked it.
That is not something that
I've
women
had a
are
woman-
naturally going to want to do
so
for
you can give your circumstantial thing. I can just give you an opposite scenario where we had a woman who was on who said she hit the bow and the husband loved it. Cool.
You probably freaked your husband out because he know you're not even like that. He probably was like, what the fuck?
But hold on.
I am very submissive, though. I'm very submissive, but that was
Stop.
just taking it a step.
I actually like kind of give the bow as much seriousness as like you're wanting back scratches. It's like I don't see the need to give the bow. Sure, my husband actually asks like when he comes home from work that I meet him at the door and give him a kiss hello. Like that's not very far away. Oh, sorry, but yeah, that's not very far away from like the bow, but it's not like giving it so much power to compromise myself. My husband just said he wanted this because it, excuse me, and he wants to feel loved by me, so I don't see.
Couple questions here. So just going back to you, you want to get married
Yeah.
one day? I assume, I mean, women have different views on this, but are you fine with your husband paying for like $100 ring? Are you fine with that, or would you want him to spend a bit more?
No, I would be fine with that.
You'd be fine with that?
Yeah.
Going around the table? You're married. How much did your husband spend on the ring?
Never told me.
Never told you?
Never asked.
Okay. What about you?
I don't think it matters.
Don't care? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Don't care?
No, I care.
Okay, how much should a man, I've heard something like 3 months salary. That's what I've heard.
Sure.
So you'd want a man to pay, okay, 3 months salary. What about you? How much did your husband pay
Depends
for his
on
wedding
his
ring?
salary.
Wait, can I have an example
I
of
don't
what 3
think
months
I've
salary
asked.
is? Because I don't know USD conversion.
I
Like,
mean,
how much
people
is
make
that?
different salaries and
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like, what if it's a McDonald's worker with a 3 month salary versus someone like you
Sure.
said, like a lawyer?
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
It
I want
doesn't matter.
a 6-carat ring minimum.
Oh my
So
goodness.
how much does that cost? I don't know.
Could be anywhere from like 60 to 80K depending on the diamond vendor. Could be anywhere from like 60 to 80K depending on the diamond vendor, if you're getting one that was lab created or if you're getting one that was sourced from Africa.
Wow. I don't think I ever asked. Wait, I have.
Show us
can
the
I-
ring.
Can I ask you something?
Show us the ring. I don't know jack shit about rings. I don't know if it looks like a pricey one. What about you? Do you want?
Pricey.
I mean, I don't think it really matters, but I also don't think you should be getting married if you're not at a point in your life where you can financially, like,
Well, that's a different thing.
but it has to do with the cost and how much you're spending. Like, if you're able to pay for it.
Yeah, 3 months salary. I think that's what's I don't agree with it, but what about you?
Well, it at least has to be the ring I want.
It has to be the ring you want.
Yeah. Like, I
Is
don't-
your ring that you want going to be worth $100?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
I picked out my ring.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't really mind.
Okay. So going around once more on this. I mean, just show of hands. Who here wants to be married? Get married? Everybody? Okay.
Already.
Now, do you want the guy, just show of hands, do you want the guy to propose to you? Is that everybody? Hands high,
yeah,
please.
sorry.
So starting with you, do you want your husband to do the get down on one knee thing to propose to you?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you? Or did your husband do that?
Yeah, he did.
What about you?
Yes.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hold on here just a second. I would argue that kneeling is a bitchier move than bowing. In addition to that, you also want your husband to spend money on a ring. Now, some of you seemed a bit modest in terms of how much you want him to spend, but you want him to get down on one knee and essentially begging for your hand, like a quivering, begging dog. Why is it okay for women to say, I want a man to get down on one knee? And I would argue kneeling is more pathetic. I don't view bowing as pathetic, but whatever. If your thing is, oh, it's so pathetic for a woman to bow, why is it not objectionable then for a man to do that?
I
For a
think
man
if
to
he
kneel?
wants me to bow to him, he can get down on one knee.
Honestly, bowing, you're looking down. Kneeling, you're looking up. And
That's to be lower, that's way more submissive.
you have to do it one time.
Yeah.
One time in your life.
Sure.
That is it.
In addition to that, if the man's
Hopefully
the
once.
breadwinner, he's essentially getting down on one knee.
Right.
If the man's the breadwinner, he's also not just getting down on one knee. He's not just saying, I want to be with you forever. He also says, in the event that you ever change your mind, you're going to financially destroy me. That's also what that means. How about that?
Sorry.
Checkmate.
I totally zoned out. I didn't even hear you.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
I think it's based off like what everyone wants. Like I know like you're for no bowing, but I feel like in the video it's showing that the man is coming home from like a hard days of work and she's been at home preparing for him, and basically like I feel like the bow is showing like a sign of thank you, because he's basically the one, I'm assuming, paying for the house, paying for the food that she used to cook for him. I feel like a bowing is a very, not everyone has to do it, of course. Like I mean, it's based on communication with you and your partner. Like Brian, I don't think you should assume that your first date someone would bow to you unless you openly say, please bow to me. I mean, like, I don't know if they'll swipe or whatever that works, but I feel like it's based off like the relationship you have with your partner. If that person is working hard day in, day out, not saying that you're not at home, but that's like a small factor that can like help them maybe wanting to come home. Maybe it'll give them a feeling that like they feel a sense of like reward, that they took care of you in an aspect. Like it's like they said, the dominant versus submissive type of stuff, I feel like.
If you have really, really, really earned that bow, then sure.
Yeah, I don't even think that.
Oh, I don't
that
need to earn it on the first date.
Oh yeah.
To McDonald's?
I don't need to.
That.
It's pursuing that is
F
sort
that.
of bizarre.
Pursuing what?
Somebody that's
F
going to
all
bow
of that.
for you. If that came
What
to
if I
be
told you that, for example, if a woman's initiating with me and she watches the show, would you object to, under those circumstances, object to me wanting a bow?
because
I
you
would say
might,
every single girl here at the table, for a guy you like, you'll do way more than a fucking bow. Trust me.
I would bow
Trust
to my
me.
guy if he
You'll
had
do
that
way
That's
more
facts.
than a fucking bow for a guy you really like.
That's facts.
But I would expect.
I ain't dealing
Yeah.
with these chicks on dating apps who are dating three guys at the same time. They're fucking two other dudes. I ain't dealing with those chicks. Maybe that's how y'all move. I don't deal with those kind of girls.
That's facts.
I'm dealing with a girl who's only interested in me.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. B. I used to bow to people all the time, right before they threw me all over the mat and kicked my ass like it was their job. It is a sign of respect, is not earned, it just is. These girls are broke.
Yo, Grid 1, good to see you in the chat, bro. Wait, what? Right before they threw? I used to bow to people all the time?
You think he's talking about his karate teacher or something?
Oh, you know what's crazy? Grid 1, me and him, we took like an Aikido class. This guy's a fucking Aikido black belt.
Gosh.
He's got that fucking Aikido.
I thought Aikido was a stick.
Okay. I think it's Aikido. What's the thing that, what's that guy? Who's the guy who does Aikido? What's his fucking name? The famous actor guy? What's his name? Who did Aikido?
Nickelodeon donated
Steven
$200.
Seagal. Thank you.
Please don't let the autist read more comments. The girls can't bow, but men have to open doors, pay for dates, fill the gas for you, take the bullet. P.S. Rocky Peaks is the stripper in Chartreuse Smile.
Dude, Nickelodeon, good to see you in the chat, man. Well put. Very much appreciated. Well, you have all these gender expectations of what a man ought to do, but like a bow is pretty benign. Speaking of which, I'll save the bullet conversation for later, but the big argument we had last show is, so you want a man to take a bullet for you, but you want a man to literally die for you. I know some of you said, oh, if the Grim Reaper
I don't want my
comes-
man to die, period.
Right, but if like in this hypothetical scenario where one of you has to take a bullet, I mean, for example, you said you prefer you'd want the guy to die for. Well, I didn't ask you the bullet question. You did the Grim Reaper question. So that's where you have it's pretty much the same, but you want men to be like in some self-defense scenario, you would want a man to literally protect you to the point of would put his life on the line in order to protect you in a self-defense scenario. But y'all won't bow? That's crazy, son.
I think ultimately, though,
Crazy, son.
When he put it in a perspective like that, it make complete sense.
Well, he's great at putting things in those kinds of perspectives. But let's just say this.
But I still don't. It gives
if
me
my
the
husband was like,
I don't
honey,
like it.
I would really appreciate it if you would bow to me. My husband is Asian, by the way.
W.
So it wouldn't be
wait,
like
what's his
totally.
name? What's his name?
His name is Wisdom.
Wait, that's his
His
name.
name
Was his name was Wisdom? He got a name
his
change?
name is Wisdom.
Oh, is I heard a was. So
Is.
Yo, W's in the chat for
Currently.
wisdom. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But if he
'Cause-
asked me if he was like, honey, like I really want you to bow to me, like it might hit me as like
Oh my
it
God, that's
might throw me
terrible
off
to
a little
ask
bit at first, but like I wouldn't be opposed to it because like honestly I put his needs above my own.
There you go.
So I would do it.
Cool.
I mean
I think
that's definitely a hot take.
Angelic, what you
I
got?
think like love at the end of the day is selfless and unconditional. I think we can all agree here that when we're in love with someone, we would go extreme lengths for that person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like right here in this table, we may be like, oh my gosh, like, oh, that's crazy. But if someone we're in love with asked us to do that, we probably would do that. And like he said, way more.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It does.
But that's
I want the
thing.
praise kink to be reciprocal. So if he expects me to bow, then yeah, I want my car door opened, and then I have no problem bowing. But if there's not that reciprocity, then like,
Because I think like the bow like historically is coming from a place of like you're bowing to somebody who is not your equal, who is like kind of above you, and in a partnership, in a relationship, you are to treat each other as equals.
Hold on. Since when have women ever wanted their equal? You think women
We are
going
created
for their
equally.
Equal? Okay, equal in life value. But do you think women actually want their equal?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well,
like,
I'm
what do
not
you
saying
mean
this is the
they're
case. I'm not
equal?
saying this is the case for all women, but women typically want, for example, a guy who's more charismatic than them, a guy who's more interesting than them, a guy who's more entertaining than them, a guy who makes more money than them. So we're not
A
equal.
guy who's more competent across domains.
A guy who's more confident than they are.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't say that like he's more valuable than me.
Well, it
And I think when
depends
you
what-
bow-
it
different
depends.
values.
Like she was saying, like, you know, like in Asian culture, you bow to your grandparents and things like that. It's like, I wouldn't see my husband as that. Like, I would see him as like, we are an equal, but like, yeah, I don't want to live my life without him. Like, I do definitely,
Yes, well,
there's a lot of value in his life, but I don't see it as like, he's more than me or he deserves more than me. Like, I think we kind of reciprocate each other and there's an ebb and flow.
right. But so in terms of obviously like your value as a human being, yes, men and women are equal.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think the bowing is an obstruction on that.
Okay, do you want a guy to pay for a first date?
The first, well,
You've answered this question
yes,
before. I'm almost confident.
Yeah.
I'm very confident you said yes. Okay, that's not very equal.
I would, because he's asking me to go on the date, so he's
Have
like,
you ever asked a guy out on a date?
no,
Interesting how that works out. So,
not really.
well, hold on. If men de facto have to be the initiators because women refuse to initiate ever, then of course men have to be the initiators then. If women refuse to initiate or do so infrequently that a man would
Well, I
never
think it's-
find a
I think
woman if
it's-
he didn't initiate, then yes.
It's in your nature to pursue women.
Oh, so we're not equal then.
No, I'm saying it's in your nature to pursue women. We have things in our nature too.
But wouldn't a bow, in a sense, be a mark of reciprocity in terms of how men are naturally the ones who typically fund the relationship? They're typically the ones who put in more effort into getting you. I think that's fair.
I
Like,
just- in my-
especially if he's the breadwinner, he pays the bills, he's taking care of you, he's willing to risk his life for you. A bow would simply be a gesture of appreciation. That's reciprocal.
In today's
for what he
economy,
does.
that's not always the case. So
I mean, it still is the
if it-
majority
if
of the
it-
time, though. We ain't saying always.
Sure, but like I said, the reason I think it's a slippery slope is because
The bow is
the
a slippery
bowing,
slope. A man
it
paying
could
for a
it could
first
lead
date's
to
a
other
slippery
things
slope.
like what more is he gonna want? That's gonna make me feel a little bit degraded. You know, like, does it stop at the bowing?
Wait, isn't
It's
slippery slope a
fallacy.
fallacy?
Yeah, it's a fallacy.
Yeah,
it's definitely a fallacy.
fallacy.
Yeah, it's a fallacy.
Logical fallacy.
Okay, so listen, you can date a girl who's gonna bow for you. I'm sure she'll do it if she wants to do it.
But hold on, I'll actually.
It shouldn't
engage
be
you.
a standard.
I'll actually just engage you on the slippery slope thing. Okay, so do you think I have like these devious, like I'm some 50 Shades of Grey thing? I'm actually pretty vanilla, to be honest. I mean, I actually don't particularly like super rough sex. I prefer gentle sex. I'm just being super honest right now. Don't have any like super crazy kinks. I don't want to beat you up in bed. Y'all are actually, it's the women that want to be choked and slapped around and shit, which I don't want to do. So yeah.
Okay.
What?
Maybe she's like, I'll bow for you, but you have to take a bullet for me.
Slippery slope. Who are the women who are buying 50 Shades of Grey is like the best-selling fucking book. It's y'all who are all twisted and demented in the head. Sorry, I got loud there.
Wow.
It was one of the most popular books ever. Y'all are the ones with like demented and twisted sexual fantasies and fetishes. Don't get me wrong. There are guys who are out there who are what's it called? No, it's
BDSM.
Sadists. There are absolutely men out there that are sadists. But a bow is very benign, and I don't think that would be indicative of him like he wants to like abuse you like that's crazy.
I don't think a bow is benign.
How is it not benign?
I just like I said, like
it just intuitively feels demeaning to them.
It really does, and I think most women would agree with that.
But it's not.
It feels like that.
I know, but it's not.
You got the feminist mind virus.
Don't call me a feminist because I am not a feminist.
If you weren't a feminist, you wouldn't object to the bow.
No.
What?
Can I
That's
say
such a
one more
blanket
thing
statement.
on this?
If this, then this. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you can choose to have that. You can choose to be attracted to that. I'll let you work through that. I don't know what you're going through, but you can work through that.
Why is it that women tend to always, like, when a man has a preference, standard, or boundary, they want to pathologize it? It's always like you want to shame. What's that sign? Shame, insult, guilt.
Yeah.
And then what's the fucking N stand for? Sign? Anyone in the
Need
chat?
to be right.
Need to be right.
Yeah.
Like, women can desire. It's actually funny. If a man desires a submissive woman, oh, predatory. But if a woman wants a dominant man, well, that's you go, girl. You get your dominant man. Why is it that women can desire all these things in men, no qualms, but if men desire anything in women, it's always like
because they think a man is trying to take advantage of them, and I think that's extremely bad faith. That's basically what it boils down to. You dating a guy wants a submissive woman, a guy wants a woman who does XYZ for him. You think he's trying to take advantage of you and he's trying to somehow demean you, and that's not the case. I really hate that mentality in women. Why would you think a man is trying to take advantage of you? Yeah, there are guys who take advantage of women, but that's not what the average man who's dating a woman is trying to do.
I don't think he's saying that in terms of like wanting to take advantage, and I didn't go there in my head. What I was more so thinking of is like it feels like it's leading into a little bit of a power trip. Like,
is that not taking advantage?
Where would it stop? Like there has to be a clear indicator of like, where does this stop?
Okay, so here, why don't you just tell us what particularly is the slippery slope? What is the next step and the next step and the next step?
Like, I don't know, do you want me to like wash your feet? Do you want me to like, I don't know.
That's a slippery slope? I mean, let's even just assume, yes, I want a girl to wash my feet. Would there really can you actually make an argument for why that would be wrong? and she's fine with it.
Like I said, if there's a girl out there, a woman out there who's fine with it, then that's fine. I'm just saying it shouldn't be a standard. It should not be like a regular standard.
Well, men are welcome to have whatever standard they want. Realize that 99.99% of the men in the United States don't want the bow. I'm probably like, there's 3 dudes. It's me, Q, and Nick back there. That's it, actually. We're the only men in the United States who want the bow.
And that's fine. You can keep it between you 3.
Oh, I'm keeping it between me and the entire world on this podcast.
Okay.
Going around the table.
Very well.
Going around the table, do you want a guy to pay for the first date?
If he's inviting me out, but if I ask, I do typically make the first move. So if I am asking a guy out, I don't mind paying.
Well, more often than not, are you asking or is the guy asking?
I have only gone on one date in my entire life, but I approach the man first always.
Okay.
I would prefer him to pay, yes.
I think whoever asks should pay, and I have asked men out on date, and I have paid, but they've also asked me, and they've
But
also paid.
more often than not, is it the guy who's asking or is it you who's asking?
I think it's equal. For me.
Equal?
Yeah, for me.
Well, of the men you say yes to, like, because certainly there's men who ask you out who you reject, right?
Yeah.
When, like,
Like-
if you had to, I mean, I'm sure you're on dating apps, guys sliding into your DMs. I'm sure you've turned down hundreds of men, probably. When you're making the first move, have you ever been rejected? Like, of the times you asked a guy for the first date, have you ever been rejected?
Can't think of any right now.
I'm gonna take that as a no. You've never been rejected. Okay. What about you?
I think they should pay.
The guy should pay?
They should pay.
He's gonna pay.
I think because of my culture, I would like want to pay. Like I feel like I would want him to pay, but I would pay.
Which culture?
Because I'm Turkish, like Middle
Okay.
Eastern background. It's like we always pay. Like I will have to like push my partner around like to pay type of vibe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, men.
All right.
I feel like I struggle not to pay. I don't know where that comes from, but like deep down, I would like to see that he's serious about me and wants.
Sure. A couple other questions here. Who here has ever had a one-night stand? Or, hold on, has like hooked up with somebody the first time you met him? Show of hands. Q. You never had a one-night stand? There you go.
Come on.
Okay, so what's interesting to me is women will object to this bow thing. Not all women. Not all women object to the bow. Not all women will do what I'm about to say they do. A girl will let a guy hit it raw, blast inside of you, come all over your face during a one-night stand.
No.
But you draw the line.
No.
You draw the line at me wanting a girl to bow.
You didn't get the analogy right.
What?
This was an extreme example, and I just
You don't think girls-
wholeheartedly
hold on,
disagree,
you don't
because
think-
that's not my experience with one-night stands.
Well, okay, let's fine. You had the one night stand. You let a guy hit first night.
Maybe
but
I was
you don't
trying to hit him.
Just
With
okay,
what?
That's fine. Whatever. I'm not making it.
With what?
I'm not making it into that. But it's like, okay, you're willing to let a guy penetrate you, but you draw the line at a totally benign, innocent, even playful, cute, endearing bow.
No, I would
No,
not.
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like most of you probably wouldn't like really have as heavily as you object to the bow. Most of you wouldn't heavily object to any woman who was inclined to sleep with somebody the same night that they met them. You'd probably be like, well, maybe I wouldn't I personally might not do that, but you know, you're sexually liberated, you can go do that.
Like I said, you can.
But why? It's crazy to me. You will let a guy hit on the first night. You'll let a guy blast all over your face, but you won't bow. That's what's crazy to me.
But you're only thinking of your experience with that. That's where it comes back to. It's selfish. And the other
What's
thing,
more selfish, me wanting to blast all over a girl's face or her bowing for me? Which I don't like, by the way.
Agree
What's the? That's I don't
with
know.
that
I don't want to blast on the face.
necessarily.
There's better places to put it. Okay.
I know.
I don't agree with that necessarily, but she's obviously consenting and getting something out of that.
The
as
one
well.
night stand girl would not bow for you. Maybe the wife material would bow for you if it came up in conversation and you really wanted it.
What? Okay, so if a girl watches, I'm trying to think how to explain this.
Bam. Like I said, I would do it for my husband. I
And
would not
excuse
do
the
it for somebody
vulgarity.
who doesn't
Excuse the
deserve that.
vulgarity. Earmuffs for the two virgins.
I
here.
did. I bowed to him.
Excuse
I
the
tried
vulgarity.
it.
I'm just trying to articulate a point. It's like you'll let a dude come on your face, but you object to the bow thing.
He's trying to find every different way to say it.
I'm just saying.
Can I say something?
Also, really quick, I'll let you come in just
No
a second.
blasting on me.
Comparing the bow to like the man kneeling for the proposal for marriage.
Once in your life, yep. Go
I
on.
would rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
What?
What? Okay, go ahead.
I don't think the
What?
bow is like, I don't think it's so deep. I think it's just like a respect thing. I don't think
It's
it
not
has to
that
be
deep.
like.
Thank you. That's a perfect way
Yeah,
to put it.
I don't think it's that
it
deep.
ain't that. I could have just saved us 30 minutes. It ain't that deep. That's my answer.
But if it ain't that deep, why is it on your requirements list for choosing a partner?
Oh, it's something I want. Look, truth be told, if
If a girl was like,
I
I
just been
feel
holding back.
sad about this, I don't know, it just like rubs me the wrong way, would you be like, bye?
But she had
it's
every
not
other
like,
quality.
I don't think it's a deal breaker, but like I just feel like most women that I would pursue, they would do that shit. I don't know. I haven't encountered a girl who's like, no, I'm a feminist.
But that's literally not feminist at all.
I'm a feminist. It's super feminist, bruv.
Yeah,
That
I
shit-
don't know.
that
I
shit's
think
super
you'll have a rude
It's
awakening
enabling.
when you
It's
see most women
honestly-
won't want
Wait,
to do
hold
that.
on. What?
No, honestly, it's enabling selfish,
What
egotistical, like
It's enabling.
self-serving behavior.
But isn't it self-serving and enabling behavior for a woman to demand pay for a first date and to open the car door and to be chivalrous and to get down on one knee?
I don't think
and
women started that. Men do that for themselves. Like, men love that.
Women love bowing. They fucking love to
No,
bow.
they don't.
love it. Puts them
Men-
into their natural
No.
feminine. It puts them into their
Listen.
femininity. Trust me,
No,
ladies,
no.
try the fucking bow. You'll be
This-
like, woo, I like this shit. God damn, I tapped into something I didn't know was there. I've been so masculine for these 20 plus years. I've been
No, men
Okay,
started
listen,
protecting
listen,
and
listen,
providing. Wait,
The caffeine is kicking in.
okay. Men started protecting and providing forever. They've been doing that because they like to. It wasn't like one day a woman was like, I need you to do this. So
Oh, wait, hold on. Women are sexual selectors. So if guys weren't like up to par, women would reject them
them,
romantically and sexually. So it's like
No.
it takes two to tango.
No, men did not they haven't been oppressed and felt like
hold
they
on.
needed
Wait,
to do
hold on.
this.
Men haven't been impressed. Hold on. We can get into
No.
that. But hold on.
In
Hold on,
that
wait,
area. You're interrupting me,
Hold on. Let me
Brian.
just make a quick point.
He does
Okay, say
that.
your point.
No.
Make your point.
Men do that because they want to. And women will do very selfless acts because they want to. Maybe bow even. But when you operate from a place of this is how I want to be served, all I'm thinking about is how I can be served and my experience and how other people will benefit me. To engage in that is enabling and honestly
Enabling
good.
what?
It's
enabling
Enabling
selfish,
what?
it is
self-seeking
like
behavior.
it is such a sweeter feeling if a woman just does those kinds
Yes,
of submissive
and she
things
will.
without you asking.
Oh, they do that
It
shit,
probably makes
trust
you
me.
feel
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, I don't want to teach
like
you
if
how
a
to
woman,
be submissive,
if
preferably.
a woman just like bowed to you, okay, like you're in a relationship and she just like bowed to you, you never brought it up in conversation, like I bet you that would feel so much better than you having to ask her and she's maybe just
Well,
doing
yes.
it because you asked her to do it rather than her wanting to do it.
Well, one, bowing's just not really commonplace in the West, but yeah, I mean, I want a girl to just get it in the same way that y'all want men to just get it when it comes to, you don't want to teach a man how to talk to you. You don't want to teach a man how to be confident. You certainly don't want to teach a man how to fuck you. You want a man to just know how to fuck you. To bring it into, earmuffs for the two virgins here. Okay.
Like in a marriage, like you naturally take on those roles that are, and it's unspoken. You do it out of love, and the right person brings that out of you. Like it's not like
I don't want to
we sit down, have a conversation.
I can teach a woman though. I'll teach her how to be submissive.
Sure.
I'll teach her how to be submissive.
Shouldn't have to teach her. It's kind of more
natural. I don't know how
natural.
it's enabling though.
Because it's just not loving behavior.
It's not something that's, it's not a norm.
Wait, the bow or the man wanting the bow is not loving?
The man requiring
What's
the bow.
going on in Canada, dude? Canada is cooked.
Honestly, real.